Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LearnGermanGames.com, the only place where you learn German using actual computer games. Yeah? Now, if you are new to that concept, the way it works is that I'm going to be your teacher for today, and the subtitles are also going to be your teacher for today because there's translated subtitles both in real time and during the game as well. So whenever I speak or whenever you see a conversation in the game. And after every short conversation in the game, I'm going to also be explaining, and my patrons are here with me to read as well, so I can correct their pronunciations. Maybe if you do similar pronunciation mistakes, you can learn from them. Also fangen wir an. Wir spielen heute wieder also Broken Age, ja? Wir waren das letzte Mal hier und wir haben uns ein paar Dinge angeschaut, aber heute werden wir was Neues entdecken, ja? Was gibt es denn hier? Ein geheimer Ort.
Den Wolfshahn nachzuurteilen, ist das wohl Merricks Schlafplatz.
Ja, wahrscheinlich. Okay. Den Wolfshaaren nachzuurteilen, ist das wohl Mareks Schlafplatz.
Den Wolfshaaren nachzuurteilen, ist das wohl Merricks Schlafplatz.
So judging by the wolf's hair, this is probably Marek's sleeping place. Yeah, Marek is the name of the wolf, you remember? And notice how you use this verb here, urteilen. You say something in accusative, yeah, actually in dative, because of nach. And then you say nach and then zu urteilen. Yeah, it's like saying according to the judgment of the thing that you see in the beginning. Yeah. And wohl here means probably. So we color them together. Also wohl, whenever you add it, even though literally it means well, whenever you see it in a sentence, it means probably. Yeah. Und was sind das hier?
Die Kreaturen, die wir gerettet haben, sind da drin in Quarantäne. Ich würde sie gerne rauslassen, aber es ist zu ihrer eigenen Sicherheit, nehme ich an.
Die Kreaturen, die wir gerettet haben, sind da drin in Quarantäne.
Die Kreaturen, die wir gerettet haben, sind da drin in Quarantäne.
Yeah. Notice here how, as I keep saying, the conjugated verb is in the second position because the first part is actually this. Yeah, this is the first part here. And this part in the middle is not really part of the sentence. It's like extra information that you add. This is why it's surrounded by two commas. So conceptually, you can consider it separate. Yeah. So technically, you can remove it and say, die Kreaturen sind da drin in Quarantäne. Yeah. So the creatures we have rescued are quarantined in there. Notice how Quarantäne is feminine because it ends with an E. And creature, die Kreatur, is feminine because it ends with UR. Ich würde sie gerne rauslassen, aber es ist aber es ist zu ihrer eigenen Sicherheit, nehme ich an.
Ich würde sie gerne rauslassen, aber es ist zu ihrer eigenen Sicherheit, nehme ich an.
Rauslassen means to let out. Die Sicherheit, safety, und annehmen is to suppose or assume. So I would love to let them out. Rauslassen. Yeah, it's typical in German that you put the second part in the beginning whenever you're using a verb as a past participle like here. Yeah. But it's to. Notice how in German you say to their own security instead of for their own security. Every language uses different prepositions. There aren't always rules for these things. That's why I always tell you notice. Yeah, because language is all about that. It's all about noticing the details and seeing them in context. And with time, your brain will internalize that pattern and it becomes really part of you. Yeah. And as you can see from the green and the underline, that zu always has the dative case. That's why even though die Sicherheit is feminine. We're using an ER prefix here, yeah, and adjectives in the dative take an EM. At the end, this is something also for beginners that's important to remember whenever you want to say state it and say, I suppose, yeah, so end it with nehme ich an. And again here, for the second position of the verb after the comma. Yeah, this is why the subject comes after it. Okay, was gibt es denn hier noch? Eine Tür. Ach nein, das ist wieder Marek. Wir reden ein bisschen mit ihm.
Marek,
Wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme übernehmen?
wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme übernehmen?
Wir müssen es manuell versuchen. Die manuelle Greifarmsteuerung ist hier. Du musst durch die Luftschleuse, um sie zu erreichen. Ich habe das Luftschleusentor gehackt, damit du es öffnen kannst, ohne dass die Obermutter es merkt.
Marek. Wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme übernehmen?
Wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme übernehmen?
Übernehmen is to take over. Yeah. Literally it is overtake, but it doesn't mean overtake, it means take over. Just like we said a few minutes ago, German has that where it's like the reverse order of English, yeah? And Frachtgreifarm, I'm not going to add it to the vocabulary list. It's a composited word to mean a cargo gripping arm. They're just using it in this game. It's not something that's very common. So how can we take control of the cargo gripping arms? Wir müssen es manuell versuchen.
Wir müssen es manuell versuchen.
Yeah, you notice the difference between how I said manuell and how you said it? There's a short pause here between the U and the E. Yeah, manuell. We have to try it manually. Die manuelle Greifarmsteuerung ist hier.
Die manuelle Greifarmsteuerung ist hier.
Sehr gut. And as I keep saying here, whenever the S comes before a T, it's a sh sound, yeah? That's why it's Steuerung. And whenever you have a separable verb, not a separable, sorry, a composed noun, a noun that's composed of more than one word, remember that the gender is taken from the last one. And if you've been following Learn German Games for a while, I'm sure you've already memorized that the ending ung most of the time is feminine. And this is why Greifarmsteuerung is feminine, because Steuerung is feminine. Du musst durch die Luftschleuse, um sie zu erreichen.
Du musst durch die Luftschleuse, sie zu erreichen.
Genau. So you have to go through the airlock to reach it. Notice here how in German we don't have the verb to go. In spoken German, a lot of the times when the verb of motion is obvious, you don't actually have to say it. Yeah, you just say, you must through the airlock. It's obvious what you have to do through the airlock. You have to go through the airlock. Yeah, this could also work, for example, with people. Yeah, like I have to go to the barber. You can just say, ich muss zum Friseur. It just literally means I have to the barber without saying I have to go. In English it sounds funny, in German it's normal. Ja, sie zu erreichen, so to reach it, in order to reach it. Ich habe das Luftschleusentor gehackt, damit du es öffnen kannst, ohne dass die Obermutter es merkt.
Ich habe das Luftschleusentor gehackt, damit du es öffnen kannst, ohne dass die Obermutter es merkt.
I hacked the airlock gate, so sometimes you're gonna see these composed words that are a bit confusing. because you might think that the second word is centaur, somehow it makes sense, but actually it's Tor, yeah? Because we already saw that die Luftschleuse is an airlock and the N just makes it a plural, yeah? Ungehackt obviously is taken from English, but it's conjugated in a German way. So I hacked the airlock gate, that's the Tor part, yeah? So you can open it without the head mother noticing. He's calling her head mother. That's the computer we saw. That's computer slash mother slash son. He's trying to use some kind of derogatory term for her, calling her head mother. Sag mir, nein, okay. Der Raumweber will keinen Navigationsschal für Alpha Diaboli bilden. You remember we have to go to this planet called Alpha Diaboli, and we're gonna complain about the Space Weaver not wanting to take us there.
Der Raumweber will keinen Navigationsschall für Alpha Diaboli weben.
Wie gut kannst du stricken?
Der Raumweber will keinen Navigationsschal für Alpha Diaboli weben.
Der Raumweber will keinen Navigationsschal für Alpha Diaboli weben.
So this game is a bit crazy. You actually have to weave a navigation shawl to set the course somewhere, yeah? So the Space Weaver does not want to weave a navigation shawl for Alpha Diaboli. Wie gut kannst du stricken?
Wie gut kannst du stricken?
How good are you at knitting? They want to use a fake one, I guess. Ich sollte mich wieder um die Mission kümmern.
Ich sollte mich wieder um die Mission kümmern.
Ja, die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt.
Ich sollte mich wieder um die Mission kümmern.
Ich sollte mich wieder um die Mission kümmern.
Sich kümmern is to take care of something. So I should get back to the mission, as in I should again do the mission, or for the mission, take care, yeah? And mission is feminine because it ends with I-O-N. Ja, die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt.
Ja, die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt.
Handeln means to act, as in to take action, yeah? Begrenzt is restricted or limited. So yes, the time in which we can act is limited. Ja, das stimmt. Die Zeit ist immer begrenzt. Also wir müssen zurückkehren. Da gibt es nichts mehr. Und wieder in den Teleporter.
Teleporter, starten.
Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren?
Ja, das darfst du.
Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale Größe.
Weil du die Regeln befolgt hast und mit dem richtigen Teleporter zurückgereist bist.
Teleporter, starten.
Teleporter, starten.
Yeah, notice how you give a command in German that's it's not too formal and it's not casual either. You just use the infinitive, and this is especially true whenever you're giving a command to a computer. So this is normally what you see on buttons in software or apps. Yeah, you just see the infinitive, unless it's very long. You know, German words are very known to be very long, so sometimes the verb and the infinitive doesn't actually fit on the button. So if the developers don't create an icon for it, they try to use a different tense, maybe the imperative that's shorter normally.
Mind if I ask a quick question?
Yeah, but
So one thing that comes to mind is, so like I think if you're like talking to a person, you know them really well, you would say like just starte or start, right?
yeah, but not all the
Is
time.
this
Not all the time. So even with
Okay.
people you know, it's okay to use this kind of way to tell them what to do. It's neuter, that's the thing. It's not formal, it's not informal.
Oh,
Ja.
okay.
Ja. Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren?
Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren?
May I teleport you to the Nexus? Whee! Woohoo! So this is if you want to sound super German, this is what you need to say when you're excited instead of woohoo. Yeah. Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale Größe.
Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale Größe.
So Größe is a size. Well, if you ever go shopping in Germany or Austria, the salesperson might ask you, welche Größe? Yeah, which size? If you're buying shoes or shirts or something. Yeah. So the reason he said this comment is that last time if you remember, we found out that going through this teleporter has this weird side effect where his head shrinks. Yeah. And now that he's back, his head went back to the normal size. Weil du die Regeln befolgt hast und mit dem richtigen Teleporter zurückgereist bist.
Weil du die Regeln befolgt hast und mit dem richtigen Teleporter zurückgereist bist.
Genau. Die Regeln befolgen is to obey rules. Befolgen. So here I have to give you a small tip whenever you're learning any language, not just German. There's a concept called collocation, which is sometimes certain words are used together. Whenever you see, this is especially true with verbs and nouns. So you have to notice what word or what noun is used with what verb. Now we have seen here today, for example, that whenever you follow the rules, you're using befolgen instead of folgen. Yeah, in English, you just, for both of them, you say follow. And in German, it's just more natural to say befolgen. So sometimes you're going to see verbs that are synonyms, but a certain version is used more often with certain kind of nouns. And again, there's no way you're going to go through a list of verbs and memorize them that way. This is why I always teach in context, because the secret is just to keep noticing them, to see the relationship between the two, and then your brain will just associate this noun with this verb. Ja? Und das zweite Verb hier ist zurückreisen. To travel back, yeah. So because you followed the rules and traveled back with the right teleporter. Again here, the adjective and the dative takes an EN. All right, we have added quite a few words to the vocabulary list. Let's practice them a little bit with a few exercises. If you are new to these exercises and Learn German Games, I hope you are watching this live, because then you can participate. You can send me the number on the left corresponding to the one on the right. Yeah, so this way you don't have to type the whole thing. If you're a patron, of course, you can just unmute yourself and answer with your voice. Also fangen wir an.
Versuchen is to try.
Versuchen.
7.
To try. Sehr gut.
Retten is to rescue.
Retten. To rescue. Joshua im Chat sagt 4 und 16. Also merken. To notice.
Rauslassen is to let out.
Rauslassen. To let out.
Annehmen, to suppose.
Annehmen. To suppose.
Die Sicherheit.
Ja.
Urteilen.
Urteilen. Ja.
Urteilen. To judge.
To judge.
Die Sicherheit is the safety.
Die Sicherheit. The safety.
Erreichen is to reach.
Erreichen. To reach.
Übernehmen to take over.
Übernehmen. To take over.
Die Luftschleuse. The airlock.
Die Luftschleuse. Die Airlock. Now, same exercise with short sentences from the game as well as sentences that are just useful in real life.
Wir müssen es manuell versuchen. We
Sehr
have to try it
gut.
manually.
Wir müssen es
Oh, Mama.
manuell versuchen. We have to try it manually.
Das
Leider
nervt.
weiß ich das nicht. Unfortunately, I don't know that.
Leider weiß ich das nicht. Unfortunately, I don't know that.
Das nervt. That's annoying.
Yeah, be
So
careful with the E
that.
sound. Be careful with the E sound. It's not nö, it's ein ner. Ja, das nervt.
Yeah.
Ja,
Okay, danke.
Ist langweilig. She's bored.
Ihr ist langweilig. I heard it as er. Yeah, so notice everybody how we're using the dative case here, because if you say sie ist langweilig, it means she is boring. Yeah, so the boredom is happening to her. That's why you have to use the dative. Ihr ist langweilig. She's bored. Joshua in chat says 3:15. Also, was zum? You know, if you want to say what the heck or something, you can just drop the noun and say, what the? Was zum?
Ist es besser so? Is it better like this?
Ist das besser so? Is it better like this?
Das gefällt mir eigentlich. I actually like that.
Das gefällt mir eigentlich. I actually like that.
Was
Das
sagst
ist-
du dazu? What do you say to that?
Was sagst du dazu? What do you say to that?
Das ist ziemlich einfach. That is pretty easy.
Das ist ziemlich einfach. That's pretty easy. Und es kommt drauf an. It depends. Alright, fill in the blanks. Remember that some verbs need to be conjugated, and whoever answers needs to read and then translate for us. Also, wir müssen es manuell.
Wir müssen es manuell versuchen. We have to
Yeah.
try it manually.
Remember to add a small pause.
Manuell.
Genau.
The pause in between. Yes.
Sehr gut. Wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme etwas?
Wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme handeln?
Nein, es tut mir leid.
Vielleicht übernehmen?
Passt, kannst du das bitte vorlesen?
Oh ja, wie können wir die Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme übernehmen?
Ja,
How can we take over the... Oh.
yeah. So, how can we take control of the cargo gripping arms? So whenever you read, try to not read while I'm speaking so that our listeners can hear the full translation. Ja. Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale etwas.
Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale Größe.
Yeah, be careful with the umlaut. Yeah, you have to flatten your lips a little bit. Yeah, größer.
Größe.
Und Übersetzung, was bedeutet das?
Hey,
Translation?
my head has gone back to the regular size.
Ja. Wie gut kannst du etwas?
Stricken. Wie gut kannst du stricken? How well can you knit?
Ja, sehr gut. Ich würde sie gerne etwas, aber es ist zu ihrer eigenen Sicherheit, nehme ich an.
Rauslassen. Ich würde sie gerne rauslassen, aber es zu ihrer eigenen Sicherheit nehme ich an. I would like to let them out, but it is for their own safety, I suppose.
Sehr gut. All right, flashcards. How do you say to take over in German?
Übernehmen.
Übernehmen. Look at the dash under the E. The emphasis is on the second part. And the other clue you have is actually the H after the E, which just elongates the previous vowel. To suppose,
Annehmen.
ja, annehmen. This is a separable verb, that's why we emphasize the prefix an with an open A. To try,
Versuchen.
versuchen, ja. By the way, Kimberly, the way you pronounce the S is not wrong, it's just regional. In the southern German, in the southern regions of Germany and Austria, you tend to say versuchen, and in the northern version, you pronounce it more like a Z. Versuchen, yeah. To let out.
Rauslassen.
Sehr gut. And this is the shorter version of herauslassen. To reach.
Reichen?
Fast.
Oh,
Er.
Ja.
erreichen. Ja,
Erreichen.
danke.
To notice.
Bemerken.
Bemerken, sehr gut. To rescue.
Retten.
Retten.
Rescue.
To judge.
Urteilen.
Genau. The safety.
Die Sicherheit.
Die Sicherheit. The airlock.
Die Luftschleuse.
Sehr gut. All right, time to order some words. We have to order the words to form a sentence that we saw in the game. Was ist also das erste Wort?
Den.
Den. This is the den that has a long E. Den.
Das Wolfshaar. Haaren.
How did you go from den to das?
Den. Das. Den.
Den Wolfshaaren ist richtig. So. Yeah, this one is probably going to be a little bit hard for you, so I'm going to help you a little bit. This is a new structure we learned today. Den Wolfshaaren nach zu urteilen. If you remember, this is how you say judging by something. So judging by the wolf's hair. Now maybe you can continue the rest on your own. Remember the rule
Ist
about the
voll.
verb? Yeah?
Ist voll. Da Merks.
Fast. Ja, ist das
Not
wohl
voll.
Meriks Schlafplatz?
Darf ich eine Frage stellen?
Ja, natürlich.
Viele
Um,
Fragen.
Is den Verbshaaren getting its accusative from nach there?
This is not the accusative, this is plural dative.
Oh,
Ah,
plural
then.
dative. Oh, you're right.
Ja.
Thank you. Okay, that's why I was okay.
Also den Wolfshaaren nach zu urteilen, ist das wohl Meriks Schlafplatz. I solved it, so I read it. I solved it. Judging by the wolf hairs, this is probably Marek's sleeping place. Okay, nächster Satz.
Ich sollte.
Ich sollte
Mich
mich
wieder
wieder
Die Mission kümmern?
um die Mission kümmern.
I should
Ja,
take care
bitte.
of the.
Du musst das zuerst lesen.
Oh ja, Entschuldigung. Ich sollte mich wieder die Mission kümmern. I should get back to taking care of the mission.
Genau. Nächster Satz.
Wir.
Wir,
Ja. Was machen
That's all you,
wir?
Colleen.
Yeah, that's all I know is wir.
Das,
Müssen.
wir müssen natürlich, ja, das ist ziemlich einfach.
Es manuell versuchen.
Wir müssen es was?
Manuell.
Ja, okay, gut. Und Übersetzung?
But we
Translation?
have to try it manually.
Genau. Nächster Satz.
Der Raumweber
Der Raumweber
will
will
keinen
einen
Navigationsschall
Navigationsschal
Alpha Diaboli für
für
die Alpha Diaboli weben.
Alpha Diaboli weben. Sehr gut. Übersetzung?
The Raumweber, the weaver,
Raum in this case
Genau.
means space, not room. The space
the
weaver.
space weaver doesn't want to weave a navigation shawl for the Alpha Diaboli.
Ja. Nächster Satz.
Oh, goodness.
Ja,
Ja.
We'll figure it out from here.
Wir handeln? Nein. Christopher.
Wir können.
Das auch nicht.
Also,
Ich helfe euch am
die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt.
Sehr gut. Übersetzung?
Wow, ja.
Yeah, the time in which we can act is limited.
Ja. You have to look at the commas as well to get some hints sometimes. But also pay attention when we're playing the game. These are sentences we saw a few minutes ago. Anyway, great job everybody. Sehr gut gemacht. Wir spielen jetzt weiter, indem wir in diesem Teleporter hier
Teleporter,
eintreten.
starten.
Hier geht's zur Fusionsorbkammer. Nur keine Fehlfunktion. Nur keine Fehlfunktion. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Achtung! Sie betreten einen Bereich mit hoher Omikron-Strahlung. Voller Strahlenschutz ist erforderlich, bevor Sie weitergehen.
Her damit.
Vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.
Hey, wo ist mein Helm? Na toll.
Teleporter, starten.
Teleporter, starten. Oh,
Start.
Entschuldigung.
hier
Hier,
geht's.
ich
first.
rede zuerst. Hier geht's zur Fusionsorbkammer.
Hier geht's zur Fusionsorbkammer.
Yeah. So here it goes to the fusion orbital chamber. So this is like the language for direction, if you will. Nur keine Fehlfunktion. Nur keine Fehlfunktion.
Nur keine Fehlfunktion, nur keine Fehlfunktion.
So it literally means just no malfunction. This is a way to say, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Anything but that. Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye. Achtung, Sie betreten einen Bereich mit hoher Omikron-Strahlung.
Achtung, Sie bereiten einen Bereich mit hoher Omikron-Strahlung.
Yeah, be careful with the missing T here. Betreten.
Betreten.
And betreten means to enter. Der Bereich is an area. Und die Strahlung is radiation. Again, with the S before a T, it's pronounced like sh. And the ending UNG means it's feminine, yeah? So, attention, you are entering an area with high Omicron radiation. Voller Strahlenschutz ist erforderlich, bevor Sie weitergehen.
Voller Strahlenschutz ist erforderlich, bevor Sie weitergehen.
Genau. So, full radiation protection is required before proceeding. Weitergehen, literally to go on or to continue. Her damit.
Näher damit.
Yeah, so whenever you hear this expression, imagine you're handling this, yeah? Her damit. As in, here with it. Give it to me. Vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.
Vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Hey, wo ist mein Helm?
Nee, wo ist mein Helm?
Hey, where's my helmet? Well, this here there's no en because we have the verb sein, verb to be, which is like the equal sign, yeah? We have the nominative on both sides of the equation. Na toll.
Na toll.
Oh, great. Yeah. Whenever you start a sentence with na, now the feeling is implied with the intonation, of course. It's either being o whenever it's in this short kind of expression, but if it's in a longer sentence, it's like saying, well, na. Können wir trotzdem den Bereich betreten?
Ohne meinen Strahlenschutzhelm gehe ich nicht näher an den Fusionsorb ran. Mein Hirn zu brutzeln ist nicht die Art von Risiko, die ich suche.
Okay, wir brauchen also einen Helm oder irgendwas in der Art. Okay. Übersetzung. Ohne meinen Strahlenschutzhelm gehe ich nicht näher an den Fusionsorb ran.
Ohne meinen Strahlenschutzhelm gehe ich nicht näher an den Fusionsorb ran.
Das Verb hier ist rangehen, also ran und gehe. So without my fusion orb, actually not fusion orb in this case, it's fusion orb helmet. It's in from the translation. Actually it's here. I won't go near the fusion orb without my radiation helmet, yeah? In German, it's literally radiation protection helmet. Mein Hirn zu brutzeln ist nicht die Art von Risiko, die ich suche.
Mein Hirn zu brutzeln ist nicht die Art von Risiko, die ich suche.
Ja. So, sizzling my brain is not the kind of risk I'm looking for, as in frying up my brain, ja? Okay, wir müssen also zurückkehren. Hier können wir noch...
Teleporter, starten.
Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren? Hui! Vielen Dank, dass du mit uns gereist bist.
Teleporter, starten.
Zum Steuerbordkorridor, Sir. Wir übernehmen keine Verantwortung für verlorene Gegenstände, Übelkeit oder Mutationen. Bis bald.
Teleporter, starten.
Teleporter, start.
Teleporter, start. Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren?
Darf ich dich zum Nexus teleportieren?
Ui. Oh. Vielen Dank, dass du mit uns gereist bist.
Vielen Dank, dass du mit uns gereist bist.
Yeah, you might hear a flight attendant say this sentence to you if you travel. Zum Steuerkorridor, Sir.
Zum Steuerbordkorridor, Sir.
The starboard corridor, Sir. Wir übernehmen keine Verantwortung für verlorene Gegenstände, Übelkeit oder Mutationen.
Wir übernehmen keine Verantwortung für verlorene Gegenstände, Übelkeit oder Mutationen.
Genau. Die Verantwortung is responsibility. Verloren is lost. Der Gegenstand is an item. Die Übelkeit is nausea. Und die Mutation, of course, is a mutation. So we do not take responsibility for lost items, nausea, or mutations. So you might also see this in some kind of ad or some sign with something a bit, suspicious. Bis bald. See you soon.
Warnung. Gegenstände, die in den Müllschlucker gesteckt werden, werden ins All geschossen. Und wenn dir das nochmal mit einem Spielzeug passiert, wird dein Vater nicht rausgehen, um es wieder einzufangen, Shay. Da klettert man als Zweijähriger einmal wo rein und schon versiegeln sie es für immer.
Warnung. Gegenstände, die in den Müllschlucken gesteckt werden, werden ins All geschossen.
Warnung. Gegenstände, die in den Müllschlucker gesteckt werden, werden ins All geschossen.
Ja. Das All is space or universe. It's easier to understand it with universe. Und das Verb hier ist schießen. To shoot. Warning, items placed in the garbage disposal will be launched into space. Now the translation is a bit nicer, saying launched. In German you say shot into space. Yeah, and again here with the second position of the verb, this is why you see to werden. This is, extra information that's in the middle of a sentence. So even if you take it out, the sentence will still make sense. You can just say, Warnung, Gegenstände werden ins All geschossen. Of course, it makes no sense to just say items will be shot into space, but grammatically speaking, it would be correct. And also notice how after in here, because in the act of shooting, there's motion, something is moving. That's why after in we have the accusative case as demonstrated by the S, which is short for in das, ja, in das All geschossen. Warnung, Gegenstände, die in den Müllschlucker, das haben wir eben gelesen. So warning, items placed in the garbage disposal or garbage chute will be launched into space. Und wenn dir das nochmal mit einem Spielzeug passiert, wird dein Vater nicht rausgehen, um es wieder einzufangen, Shay.
Und wenn dir das nochmal mit einem Spielzeug passiert, wird dein Vater nicht rausgehen, um es wieder einzufangen, Shay.
Genau. Also das ist seine Mutter, ja. Das Spielzeug ist of course a toy. Passieren ist to happen. Rausgehen, to go out. Und einfangen ist to capture. And if that happens to you again, notice how to you in English becomes dative in German. Dir passiert. Ja. Warte. Nochmal mit einem Spielzeug wird, the famous second position, dein Vater nicht rausgehen. The father is doing the action, so there's no en, this is the nominative case, um es wieder einzufangen. In order to it again capture, which is translated here as recapture, as in capture again. And Shay is the name of the boy, yeah? Da klettert man als Zweijähriger einmal wo rein und schon versiegelt sie es für immer.
Da klettert man als Zweijähriger einmal wo rein und schon versiegeln sie es für immer.
Ja. Also klettern ist to climb. 2-year-old, Zweijährige, also 2-year-old. Und versiegeln ist to seal. Yeah, if you're watching this video not live, try to pause after every sentence and see the words I'm adding before I actually translate, and translate yourself. Yeah, take your time. That will help you remember more. You climb into something once when you're 2 years old and they seal it forever. All right, we're gonna see what to do actually next time. For now, let's practice the 45 words you have added to the vocabulary list. If you just joined us live, you can participate with this by just giving me the numbers on the left corresponding to the ones on the right in the chat. Remember, you have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel to be able to chat. I just added this restriction to reduce spam, yeah? Herzlich willkommen, Michelle. Michelle in chat says 316, also versuchen, to try. Sehr gut, Michelle.
Die Sicherheit is the safety.
The safety, ja.
Erreichen, to reach.
Erreichen, to reach. Joshua in chat says 6 and 15, also retten, to rescue. If you're watching this and you find it a bit too fast, that's okay. Keep coming to learn German games. It becomes easier with time. And whenever you're watching this offline, you can just play the video at a slower pace and or pause manually as well. Take your time to give your own answers. Yeah. Michelle in chat says 512, also 512. Die Luftschleuse. Er lag sehr gut.
Annehmen, to suppose.
Annehmen. Suppose.
Merken is to notice.
To notice. Sehr gut, merken.
Urteilen, to judge.
Notice the dot.
Urteilen.
Merk dir, ja. Urteilen, to judge.
Rauslassen, to let out. Lass mich raus.
Genau, lass mich raus. Und übernehmen, to take over. Same exercise now with short sentences from the game, as well as short sentences that are super useful for you to remember. If you're a beginner, try to memorize the very short ones. Yeah.
Was zum? What the?
Yeah, this is the shortest one. Yeah, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Michelle in chat says 1,17. Also, hey, wo ist mein Helm? Hey, where is my helmet? Ja, gut.
Leider weiß ich das nicht. Unfortunately, I don't know that.
Sehr gut, leider weiß ich das nicht. Ja, genau. Michelle in chat hat das auch gesagt. Sehr gut.
Ihr ist langweilig. She's bored.
Hier ist langweilig. She's bored.
Das nervt. That's annoying.
Es nervt. Normally it's said in this tone. Because the thing is, the verb nerven is a bit stronger than annoying. It's more like irritating, yeah? Michelle in chat says 6 and 12. Also, was sagst du dazu? What do you say to that? Und das ist richtig.
Wir müssen es manuell versuchen. We have to try it manually.
Sehr gut.
Das ist ziemlich einfach. That's pretty easy.
Das ist ziemlich einfach. It's pretty easy. Und Michelle in Chat
Das
7 und 18. Also es kommt drauf an. It depends. Very common expression. Remember that. Und das gefällt mir eigentlich. I actually like that. Fill in the blanks. If we have a verb, you have remember to conjugate it. So you cannot just give me numbers. You have to write the whole verb. Wie
Okay, aber
können wir
natürlich
die
noch-
Kontrolle über die Frachtgreifarme etwas
Übernehmen. Wir
übernehmen?
können. Ja.
Und was bedeutet das?
We could. How could we take over the controls for the gripping arms?
Genau. Cargo ist Fracht. Ja, Fracht ist Cargo. Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale etwas.
Wait,
Hey,
Mine.
go on ahead.
go ahead, Christopher.
Okay. Hey, mein Kopf hat wieder seine normale Größe. Hey, my head has its normal size again, or has its normal size again.
Ja, die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist
Begrenzt. Ja, die Zeit, in der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt. Yes, the time that we have available to act is short, it's limited.
ja. If you're watching this video with us, try to do the same thing that Susan did and read the whole sentence again, because the secret to learning is creating these associations. Yeah. So if you just think in your head the correct answer is begrenzt on its own, it doesn't help as much as when you read the whole thing, because when you're speaking and you have this series of words, you want the next word and the next word to come naturally. Yeah. So every word should have this association between it and the previous one, so you can speak more naturally. Wir müssen es manuell
Vielleicht, wir müssen es manuell versuchen.
was?
Manuell? Oh, I did it too fast. Wir müssen es manuell versuchen.
Ja,
We have to try it manually.
genau. Volle Strahlenschutz ist erforderlich, bevor Sie This is what the computer said when he was trying to go inside the place where there's radiation.
Weitergehen. Voller Strahlenschutz ist erforderlich, bevor Sie weitergehen. Full radiation protection is required before you can continue on.
Sehr gut. Flashcards. How do you say the safety in German?
Die Sicherheit.
Die Sicherheit. Feminine because it ends with heit. To reach.
Erreichen. Oh, Entschuldigung.
Erreichen. This is not a supplemental
Erreichen.
verb, so emphasize the second part.
Mhm.
To let out.
Rauslassen.
Rauslassen. This is a supplemental verb, so emphasize the prefix. To try.
Versuchen.
Versuchen. With the U pronounced like an U. To take over.
Übernehmen.
Übernehmen, ja, ja. Suppose,
Annehmen.
annehmen. For everybody watching, try to read out loud as well to actually develop your muscle memory in your mouth, not just in your head. To judge,
Urteilen.
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 Yeah, even though actually it's not a separable verb, sometimes you still emphasize the prefix. The airlock,
Die Luftschleuse.
yeah. Feminine because it ends with an E. To rescue,
Retten.
Retten.
retten. To notice,
Merken.
merken. That's time to order some words. This is a sentence we just saw. And fill in the blanks.
Voller Strahlenschutz. Ist erforderlich.
Erforderlich, ja.
Sie bevor sie weitergehen.
Sehr gut. Übersetzung.
Full some protection, radiation protection is erforderlich. Required before you can continue.
Genau. Nächster Satz.
Oh nein. Den Wolfshaaren nach zu urteilen. Ist wohl, ist das Mareks, ist das wohl Mareks Schlafplatz?
Sehr gut.
Übersetzung.
Judging from the wolf's hair, this is probably Mark's sleeping place.
Ja. Nächster Satz. If you're following us on chat live, you don't have to send me the whole sentence, just send me the next word you think is correct.
Ja, die Zeit. In der wir handeln können, ist begrenzt.
Übersetzung.
Sehr gut.
Yeah, the time in which we have to act is limited.
Genau. Nächster Satz.
Ich sollte mich wieder um die Mission kümmern. I should get back to the mission.
Ja. Nächster Satz.
Oh, du musst durch zu?
Durch die Luftschleuse.
Durch die Luftschleuse, ja, danke.
Weitergehen.
Remember what I said about the dropped verb here? There's no verb
Mhm.
to actually go, it's implied.
Sie zu erreichen. You have to go through the airlock in order to reach it.
Genau. Sehr gut gemacht. And that was our game for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something new today. If you still have any questions, send them to me in the comments under the video. And if you want to learn more, to actually get the vocabulary list with extra exercises, you can find them on my Patreon page. As tier 1, you get the vocabulary list and extra material. As tier 2, you can become part of the show and read with us here, as well as come to extra events that we don't publish on YouTube. All right, now go on ahead and click to watch the next video.